welcome to I Love This Thing So Frigging Much, a podcast about passion. My name is Sophie Katz, and today I am joined by Patrice Benjamin, a Disney College Program alumni who graduated Salem State with a vocal performance degree. Welcome to the show, Patrice.
Thank you, Sophie. I'm happy to be here.
Happy to have you here. So, here is how this works. Patrice will have 3 minutes to talk about something that she loves. This can be a person, place, thing, concept, activity, anything she wants. Our only requirement is that she loves it wholeheartedly and wants to tell us why. Are you ready, Patrice?
Think so. Let's do this.
Let's do this. Okay. Got my timer here. Now, what do you love so frigging much?
So I'm here today to talk about Steven Universe. So this has been a show that's been around from 2013 and just recently ended a few weeks ago, so I figured it would be appropriate to talk about. It's the story about this boy named Steven who is a half human, half gem hybrid. His mother was a gem, and it's the story of him growing up as a regular human being, but also learning how to use his gem powers with the help of his not his related family, but his designated family, the crystal gems, which are made up of garnet, pearl, and amethyst. And it's just a story about their adventures. So I've been, it started as, I joined this fandom very late, late last year. My stepson wanted to watch the show, after watching the movie, which probably a little out of order, but whatever. And so he wanted to check the show out, and, my husband put it on Hulu, and we watched a couple of episodes together, and I was pretty much hooked. It was a really cool story, with a lot of good music. I really am big on an original story like that, so I was really happy to get into it. So after I'd gotten married, I kind of used a month on and off to kind of watch the entirety of the show because I found it very interesting. There was a lot of I got really into it after watching a couple of compilations of fusion, which is kind of a thing that happens in the story when you connect, when two gems connect really well with each other and they decide to become one unified gem, if that makes sense. And I was very fascinated by that. So that kind of stuck me into watching the show and kind of learning more about the lore of Steven Universe and what gets into that. So the show was really good for me. It actually served as a big part of it served very therapeutically for me. It helped with my post-wedding depression, and it was a great distraction from my very stressful job. I work at a hotel, so it was pretty nice to watch that and then follow up with a movie. And then right afterwards, we found out that an epilogue series came along, Steven Universe Future, which only lasted about 20 episodes, which that's what it was meant to do. And those were, for me, that it spoke to me. So I was really happy to discover it, and I kind of thought to myself, why didn't I think of this sooner? I didn't realize, I knew it was around, but I definitely judged a book by its cover and didn't find it interesting. And so I'm happy that I discovered it now. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan, as Sophie had mentioned before, I'm big into music. I studied music. I've been studying music since I was 11. So music's a big thing for me. And the fact that this is a musical series as well is very big for me. A lot of the music is written by the creator, Rebecca Sugar. And there's something about it that just I relate to. It really does. That music speaks to me. And the funny thing is, the three of us, my husband, my stepson, and I, we listen to it in the car all the time. We watched the finale of the show together, and all three of us cried. And it was this has been a nice way of bonding with my new family. And we only have.
I have to confess, I let you keep going over the 3 minutes because I wanted to ask you about the music.
Oh yeah, I know. I was kind of, I didn't know how fast it was gonna go.
Yeah, you're on a roll. It was really sweet, really sweet. But still,
good. I'm glad it ended on that note, actually, because I feel like that naturally was a good end.
No, it was a lovely note. Thank you for telling us about Steven Universe today. Would you mind telling me a little more about the music and the show? Are there any songs in particular that stand out to you as your favorites?
Yes. So there's some really good, at the beginning of the show, like there were certain ones that were still really great and fun and funny. But the ones that really stood out to me were the ones later in the series. I really loved Here Comes a Thought. That's a song that Garnet sings to Steven and his friend Connie when Connie is going through some issues and is having trouble fusing with Steven. And she's kind of telling them that you need to take this time to kind of think through these things. Your partner will be there for you. So that was a really cool song that speaks to me. I'm trying to think of some other ones. There's some really, and of course there's some really good bouncy songs. A lot of songs from the Steven Universe movie is really good. They created some really, they did a really good job in casting some of these characters. They primarily, I know for Garnet specifically, they used they have casted Estelle the singer, and of course that's she's a great singer, so she sings a lot of the songs that feature her are very like smooth, jazzy, if I can say that. But what else? What other songs that I really like? I also like the songs that kind of take their time. A lot of the songs in Steven Universe are very usually less than 1 minute because the episodes are only 11 minutes long. So I like the songs that take their time. Specifically, there is a song very late in season 5 called Just One Day Let's Only Think About Love. And that song's probably 3 minutes in comparison. It's a much longer song, and it takes a good bit of the episode. But I love that it kind of envelops the episodes and creates a good introduction to this beautiful episode. I don't want to I'm trying not to spoil anything. I'm really trying hard not to do that. So that was a great introduction, and I think that one was really a great song as well. I'm trying to think of another one because there's other ones that I really enjoy.
We can also leave some for people to enjoy when they see it themselves too.
Right, exactly. There is one episode in particular that I think it's a favorite of mine. It's the name of the episode is called Mr. Greg, and it's from season 3, and it's a story of Steven and his dad and they're in Pearl, one of the crystal gems, going on a little trip together, and there's a couple songs in that particular. It's a fully musical episode. It's almost all songs, and I do think that that episode in particular has some of the best music in the entirety of the show. I really like, a lot of people like the song "It's Over, Isn't It?" That's a big popular one with the Steven Universe fandom. But for me, I like the one that's right afterwards, which is called "Both of You," and it's a song from Steven to Pearl and his dad and his dad. So it's a really nice song. It's a little difficult to try and describe what's happening in the songs when you don't want to spoil it. I really want people that are interested in the show to watch it and enjoy it, and they'll think about that.
It's obvious from the way you talk about it how much this show means to you. So this might be a difficult question, but is there anything about Steven Universe that you don't like? And if so, how do you handle that? Okay,
so it is kind of a difficult question. most of the time there's I have very little complaints about the show. I've noticed a lot of sometimes the fandom can be a little negative towards the show. They can get very critical about certain plot lines and how certain things were rushed. And I've never really, even though I'm late into the fandom here. I joined the fandom very late last year, and I binge watched almost everything in just a few months time. So I don't have there's not anything in the show that I extremely hate. I will say though that in the epilogue series, there were a couple episodes where I didn't find. There was a couple of slice of life episodes throughout the show that I've kind of found unnecessary, but I understand why they exist. And the thing about Steven Universe Future was that there was I wish there was more music in those particular episodes. There's probably only a few, maybe 3 or 4 songs from the epilogue series, and I really wished they put more in there, because I feel like that would have been Steven Universe Future kind of centers around Steven's mentality. He dealt with a lot throughout his journey, growing up as a crystal gem, and he went through a lot of traumatic things, and I really think him expressing himself, and maybe some of the characters expressing themselves through the music would have been, I think that would have been something that really I think that would have really worked out well. But I was a little disappointed that there wasn't as much music in the epilogue series. So I hope that answers the question. I think my point is that there wasn't as much music in the epilogue series. There wasn't. Sometimes the fandom can be a little toxic, and some of the slice of life episodes I'm not a big fan of. I definitely don't like the Watermelon Stevens, but no one's gonna get that if they had never seen the show.
No, it doesn't entirely make sense out of context, but
yeah, no. But if you see the show, you definitely get what I'm saying.
And I think you did a pretty good job of avoiding spoilers here.
I'm trying so hard.
Patrice, thank you so much for telling us about something you love today.
Well, thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Great. And thank you, our listeners, for tuning in today. If you would like to learn more about Steven Universe or our guest Patrice, you can find her social media information in the episode description. And don't forget to use the hashtag #LoveThisThingCast to tell us about the things you love. I Love This Thing So Frigging Much is a production of Through the Window Media. This episode was directed by Sophie A. Katz and edited by Melissa Block. You can find us at Through the Window on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or Tumblr. That is THROU the window at all those social media sites. Be good to yourself, be kind to each other, and you'll hear from us again soon.